One, we're doing this unlocking the Bible, and it's kind of tying into what's going to come next, expository preaching. And expository preaching, the first time we did Bible Institute, we had 12 students, and it was the class that caused people to quit because you're just in the deep end. So I'm a little concerned about this particular class, because principles of Bible study just don't work unless you study the Bible. So these are just principles. So we're going to have to get them to use, and we're not even there yet in our lives. And there's a couple things that need to change. One is accountability. Nobody in this room is teaching the Bible regularly to a group of people, even one-on-one. A little bit of discipleship here with Zach right now, but somebody handed you material, you can work into a booklet. And not everybody does. So I want to be sensitive to that too. Not everybody's made to be a teacher. And I want to give you some of these principles here. I'm just going to give them to you because I think you're going to use them later. So you got number 13, it's the principle of the priority of clear meaning, which basically, just look at the line right on the top. Never violate a clear passage when trying to understand the obscure one. So like, if I find some passage, there's a few examples in here, but you find some weird spot in the Bible and somebody bases what they believe on or whatever, I'm just like, or if I don't understand it, I'm like, man, I can swear that teaches you to lose your salvation. Well, it does. I mean, I can't deny that. Well, that don't make me change my belief system, because I can give you a whole slug of verses that Paul teaches where you can't. So that's all that's saying. So clear meaning. So when somebody brings obscure passages, and I'm telling you, this is what crazy people do. And then look at 14, it's the principle of direct statements over questions. They take passages in the Bible that are questions, and they kind of turn them into doctrines. So, but both of these principles kind of go together, but a lot of people that twist the scripture, this is what they do. And so we just don't need to be shaken by it. And I always, the whole principle, don't doubt in the dark what God teaches you in the light. So there's passages of the Bible that I struggle with. And if you guys have already experienced this, we've been in Ephesians chapter 1 for a couple weeks. It's tough. Like predestination. Are you predestined? I mean, it says it clearly in there. You're predestined to be adopted. You're predestined to be part of the family. That means before time. It looks like it says that when you just glance through it. And if it really says that, we need to change what we believe. So it's going to require some study. I probably could have picked another chapter, but I wanted one that would be challenging even for me. So put this in your book and tuck it away. And we'll keep building on these principles because we only got several weeks left in here. So just put those in your books. The answers are filled in for you. And then let me just preach to you just a little bit tonight. We'll get into unlocking the Bible. This unlocking the Bible is not expository preaching. But you have to use these and this to exposit the Word. So this is requiring work. This is just blanks, and it's actually quite boring. It's only boring until you get after it and start using it. So we're going to spend a lot of our time here. So I don't know if you've experienced this yet, and it's because, too, like tonight. Tonight could be a banged-up night. And Shane needs this night, because he's wanting to go to Africa and teach the Bible. And so, but I'll tell you right now, I think I have it here. He sent his work in. He sent it to me. I have to show you what he did. Yeah, I think I got it in there. Okay, one second. Actually, I hand that back. I don't know if you even want it. That was just that quiz we did. Mm-hmm. So, and by the way, everybody should have a chapter. Yeah, here it is. It's funny because Shane's doing the work. But, you know, here's his chapter analysis. So you can see he's after it. He's doing it. He's got 5 pages here. He followed the steps. I told everybody to get creative on this. There's no blanks. And there's no, like, exact way. I want to give you kind of an outline of how to do this, and everybody can kind of take your own way on doing it. So this is how he did it. And he literally, every punctuation, as he got the chapters either typed out or he copied it over, he just bumped it over after every punctuation. That's a great way to do this. So, and I'm very similar in how he did that. So here's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show you that because one thing I'm confident of, he's got time in that. And that's where at this point, that's important. So I just really want to preach that to you tonight. You will not be able to do a chapter, a summary. Okay, you can wing ding that a little bit, but look at all the different opinions we had last week. We were all over the board. Well, because we don't know what it is yet. We just started. I mean, think about Philippians. I mean, I've read the thing now. I'm over 60 times now. I've read the book. And I'm still, like, there's passages, and I'm still trying to figure out, what's the point of the chapter? I can't get past that. So, but my main point is if we are diligent, you'll get it. You'll get this. It's super hard work, but you just got to spend a ton of time at it. And it's like teaching somebody how to drywall mud. It's frustrating. Mud and drywall looks so easy. And then you look over at somebody doing it like it's really good, and you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. Everybody says that. And everybody can patch a little hole in the wall. But I'm talking about like mud and drywall and the whole, or skim coating the whole wall. And then when I went over to Chad Braun's house, there was this big hole in his wall that I did the night before, and I said, hey, what happened? He said, well, after you left, I mudded for a few more hours and threw my knife through the wall. This is tough. But by the time it was over, Chad Braun was skim coating walls. I couldn't believe it. I'm talking weeks later. He was skim coating walls. I was like, there's a reason I throw texture up a lot. So I'm like, I don't want to do that last coat. I want this to end. But Bible study is the same way. So I just really want to encourage everybody to spend the time. You know, this is not, now we're moving past the blanks, we're into this unlocking the Bible. Next semester when we get to expository preaching, and this is where Carla was like one of the best students, and Carla just said, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm like, whew. I said, Carla, I'm trying not to get too much. And I told her what I went through, but see, I was on my way to being a pastor. I wanted it. I knew I was going to be I wanted to teach the Bible to people. So the classes I'm teaching, like the leadership class, man, we could take business people through that. You know, I mean, Andy Jinks, who I don't think wants to be a Bible teacher, he would love that book. I'm sure he would glean from it and learn from it, from business to his home and all that. Now, the classes I'm doing now, the expository preaching, if you don't plan on teaching people the Bible and like breaking the Bible up, it's going to be super duper hard. So, I understand. When I went to Bible school, it was a big church of about, 2,000 people. To get in, one of the things on the application was go to your ministry leader and have him sign it. You had to prove that you were using the Bible. So like, if you were, anything you had to get another pastor in this church to say, he should go through the Bible Institute. And there was one time in my life that they rejected me and said, you can't go. Well, I was a new believer, or not a new believer, but new at Bible study. I get to the church, I don't know what to do. So I help out and clean, I do anything I can, and then they rejected me and said, sorry, you can't come to the Bible Institute. So I went and talked to the head guy, and I just said, hey, I want this. I want to use it. And he was pretty encouraging to me, and he let me in and just said, but you need to get after it. So, and that is when I got my first connection to Iowa, Kansas. I heard of a group of people. They didn't have a church. They were traveling down there preaching. I went to the head guy that led this, it's called a circuit riding ministry. Little churches that didn't have pastors like Raritan down here, we would send a guy every week to that church to preach. And we were using it for practice in a way. That sounds terrible, but we're like, a guy don't want to pastor that church, but we got men that need to learn how to preach. So we're going to take advantage of this, and we're hoping God would burden a man's heart to maybe pastor them. So that's what I did. I went to him and I said, he goes, man, you're awful young. I said, I'll do whatever. I said, I want to teach the word. I'm learning it. And he said, well, you can come help me with youth. He said, be at my house at 5 o'clock Sunday morning. So I showed up because it was a long haul down there, a couple-hour drive, and that was the start of it. I got on a baseball field. I started umpiring fast-pitch softball for girls, and I had no outlet to preach, but it was a fire burning inside of me. And so I finally just lined the girls up on first and third base lines, and the coaches were out there, and I stood in the pitcher's mound. I just pulled this little Bible out of my pocket, and I preached. And I made it applicable to softball, but I preached the word. And I prayed for the game with everybody. And my point in saying that is, you're going to have to look for opportunities. We're looking today at our Sunday school department, and we're lacking teachers there. The Warren County Jail, at one point Emmanuel Baptist was going there weekly. They talked to us about it, and then it kind of faded away. Then they went up to Toledo, but they're coming back. Are they back yet?
No,
I know they're heading back this direction. It's the word on the street. It's a word from LaShawn. She goes, she used to win it. She said they're opening back up. Is that true? You know?
not for a while. They're still redoing the showers.
Okay. But, there's all these, opportunities like that. FCA at the high school. I mean, they'll take anybody to run that. My point out there is I was going to be rejected from my Bible class unless I started giving the word out. And so I guess I don't want to hurt you. I want to help you. And so I think what I want to encourage you with tonight is Shane typed his out. This was not required. This is what he did. So I want to see what you guys have done. Now I'm going to tell you, I think I told you ahead of time, there's things on here that it's not perfect. It looks sexy. And I'm not about quality more than quantity. Even prayer. Every Paul prays in the Bible is short. Sometimes when you get in a room and the guy that prays the longest is the most least spiritual guy in the room. I don't buy into that crap. So don't think that I want this. But what you need to be able to prove is that I spent time. And we had a student once, we were going through the book 1 Timothy, and one of our students, he just said, I'm not getting it. And I just said, then you're going to have to spend more time. I just don't think I'm as smart as these people. I don't know if you are or not. It don't matter. Just have to spend more time. And he did. And actually, that man's one of the greatest men in this church, in my opinion. And Bob Berry's that man. And one of my best friends and one of the guys I respect the most and I seek counsel from often, which is probably going to sound weird because he's not crazy involved heavily in our church like he used to be, but it's Chad Roth. Walks with the Lord every day. He has no plans on going through this 5 months of week. And I don't care. He's got it. Walks with the Lord every day. He's a football coach. I think he's been called to be a football coach. So, just to even encourage you in that, not everybody, I guess not everybody's cut out for this. And yet I do believe if you put it the time, it'll come to you. It'll start opening up and unfold. And next semester is really going to, expository preaching, it'll blow your mind. You know them pictures you look at the wall and they say, look through it or cross your eyes, and then all of a sudden it'll come and you say, oh, there's the dolphin. I can't see those very well. My wife sees them immediately. She'll look at it, oh yeah, it's Empire State Building. And she'll start pointing it out and I'll cross my, and I'll finally get it. But I usually get it, but she gets it quicker than I do. That's exactly what studying the Bible is like. If you just sit there and spend time with it and keep working it you'll get it. You'll really, really get it. And so, and let me tell you, we're lacking leadership. I didn't know this until we started Tribes. I thought our church is awesome, and I do think we're heading in the right direction. And until we get Tribes, and I need guys to lead these groups. And I have guys that are willing to teach a little lesson. I can hand them a piece of paper and say, teach this, they'll do that. I'm lacking guys and even girls that are like, I will own this group of people. And I will make sure that they're on track. And I want to communicate the Bible to these people, almost like to shepherd them, to really genuinely teach them the Bible. And that's the people I'm lacking. So just want you to know that's why we started this Bible Institute, is to produce missionaries. And I mean missionaries even here. Missionaries at the police station, it's the police station. We need missionaries there. If it's the railroad, that's where we need them. And most likely you'll never leave there, because you'll never make that kind of money anywhere else. And if God ever calls you to go somewhere else and you quit that job, we're gonna be like, holy crap, Nate is serious about this. Most people won't. Most people in your position will say, I can take an early retirement, and that'll fund my mission. By the time that's there, your motivation will be gone. You won't have it. I've seen it a million times. It won't happen. And people say that. I want to build my retirement or do this. A friend of mine became a missionary, but first, before they did, him and his wife made a goal of putting $100,000 in the bank. They did it. They had no kids. They both worked in accounting jobs. So, bam, $100,000 in savings. They threw it in investments, quit, became missionaries. That lasted about 7 years. They're not doing ministry anymore. Well, they put this plan together, and it wasn't God's plan. So I just really want to preach tonight and just say, be diligent. Be diligent and be after this stuff. We all got lives. We're all busy. If you study diligence in the Bible, let me share just a couple passages with you. There's 2 traits of a diligent person in the Bible. Go to Proverbs. Proverbs 12, verse 27. Proverbs chapter 12, and somebody read verse 27.
The slothful man roasteth not that which he cook in hunting, but the substance of a diligent man is precious.
So the substance of a diligent man is precious. So a slothful man, he'll kill something. But a diligent man has a purpose for his hunting. And he purposes it and does everything he's supposed to do because he's not going to waste that. So in Scripture, you see that a diligent man, the first character trait of a diligent man is he don't waste food and he don't waste time. He knows what it takes. Now a slothful man will do whatever. But a diligent man, he's not a waster. He doesn't waste. And there's all kinds of words that go with a diligent man. Leadership. Well, in chapter 12 here, he just hammers it. Look at verse 24. The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall be under tribute. You'll always work for somebody. Because slothful people need told what to do. I hate to say that because we got people here, and I have, and you guys, some of you work for companies, and it don't mean you have to be lazy doing that. But as a whole, if you leave a man by himself, what he does determines who he is. So, if you and me, it's like procrastination. Procrastination, there's some good things about procrastination, but another bad thing is that sometimes it proves my slothfulness. And I'm a procrastinator, so I'm just kind of preaching to myself here. But we don't waste time. So I'm telling you, even to this day, I'm full-time, I get paid good, but things happen. Life's busy. People come in. I got appointments. Then we're doing, tomorrow night I'm squeezing in a music practice before you, then running and doing trial. That's just how it works. If somebody wants to meet, then sometimes I'm like, can you meet late? And last week the guy afterwards, me and Shane, we went to McDonald's and not just to be friends. We didn't go there to eat. We went there because we had serious things to talk about ministry and the future. But that's what you do. When everybody else is in bed, normally on a Saturday night, I'm up. I'm getting older, so I can't stay up like I used to. And I used to stay up till 3 in the morning sometimes just to get it all done. But the bottom line is it was a proving time for me. Am I going to waste my time? Am I going to put in the effort? So, not a waster of time. And then if you look at the next one, would probably be Proverbs 27. There's a bunch of things if you look up diligence or a diligent man. Proverbs 27:23. Let me read that.
Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flock, and look well to the herd.
Because see, leadership means, it means in the Bible we rule. You are a ruler. And not a ruler that we're measuring with, even though the Bible is our ruler. No, I rule. I have dominion. I have dominion over my family. And I only have dominion, like I can't say, like I'm your pastor, but you don't have to submit to my leadership, which means then, but what it says here is, it says, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks. So to know them, I gotta study them. So I know the state of the flocks, and then look well to thy herds. Look well, observe it. You know, it's my job actually to find the answers and to help people accomplish. So basically, what this would be, this would back my second point up, and that is, you gotta be organized. You gotta be organized in your accounts. So those two things of a diligent man, you don't waste time, and you gotta be organized even, and I'm talking about everything. You don't have to be perfect in it. And like, it don't mean you have to do the checkbook at home. But you gotta be organized enough that somebody's doing it. Somebody's keeping in charge of it. You know, however that works in your family. So, basically, if you'll not waste time, and you'll be organized in your accounts, because the chapter that we did this week, we were supposed to analyze the chapter, that's gonna be Monday through Friday when we start expository. Every night is gonna require some of this. Maybe not every night, but a chunk of maybe 3 nights to really get it down. So man, just really organize your accounts, organize your life. Don't waste time, which means you might have to do something in the morning, a little bit at night. You might have to just say, on Mondays and Fridays, I want to write up my calendar. These nights I got to spend an hour at least on this passage or wherever we're at in the Bible, and you'll get it. So if you want the opposite of a diligent man, I got 5 things down here. I used to preach this, but a diligent man always needs a boss. He's got to be told what to do. Also, a lazy man. A lazy man always needs a boss. A lazy person hangs with lazy people. So just being in here puts us at a different level. We got people still struggling to read. Now, I got all of our tribe right now. Almost everybody in our tribe is reading daily. We're on it. They're babies. We're on it. We're getting somewhere. But you got to look at who you hang with. Who do you hang with? Spend your spare time with? Who do you call your pals? Because lazy people, they hang with lazy people. And so that's been the hardest thing for me as a pastor, is I love people. And I love people that like the things I love. I love hard work. I've always loved that. It kills me when I can't get after it. And I love it. I miss the construction days, except when you're in it, because then it's work, because you got deadlines, you got to get it. That's hard. But I love that type of stuff, but it's made me choose who I hang with. So I got people in our church that I don't hang with anymore, and I thoroughly enjoy them. But part of it is because, who we hang with. You teach our teenagers that. You walk with the wise, you'll be wise. You walk with the foolish, you'll be foolish. And I was tired of being a foolish pastor. And so I told them, and several of the people that have left this church did, serving Jesus and going to another church. But one was a medical doctor. I told him to get away from it. Because you're crazy. And some other things happened too that were really, really nice. It was ugly. And I felt bad the way that went down, but I knew it. If I was going to be diligent, this guy was in my head. And we got to make decisions like that. Lazy people always dream of success, but they never see it. They're always the guy that, they're crying out in the streets, oh, there's a lion out there. Hey, genius, everybody can look out the window and see there's a lion. But diligent people go out and get it done. They get it killed. So lazy people, they always dream of doing something. So if you dream of preaching the Bible, or teaching the Word to people, and there's something special, man, about even like beliefs. I'll go down there and teach the Bible, and I'll get in a certain group of people, and they're hungry. I'm like, I don't feel that back home. And me and Becky's actually questioned, me more than her, but I went to her and said, Becky, I don't know why Belize has my heart. Maybe we should move here. Maybe and God said no. So I'm done with that thought. But the whole point was, these people were after it. And so I love dishing it out. And so if you dream of doing things like that and seeing people's life, you can do it. It starts here. It starts here. But you're going to have to teach. You're going to have to teach the life. You're going to have to execute this stuff. And all of us, every day we should witness to people. Always. All of us should witness. Everybody does that. That don't make us special. All of us should probably be discipling somebody eventually. And if you haven't, you're really in here and you probably shouldn't be quite yet. When Todd was on staff, we'd realized, man, Todd's just been dealing with youth, and so we were like, we gotta get him some adults. And part of it's for his credibility. But he's just working with kids. You know, Jason, not to downplay what you do, but I'm just telling you right now, I can make a group of junior hires think I'm a hero. I can't make a group of grown men think that. So we need to raise it up a little bit. And so we've done that with him. He's done counseling now, he's done some weddings, he's getting it, slowly getting it. So if you're dreaming of success, if this is something you really wanna do, this is the class to get after, especially the next semester. But this, working these chapters and just soaking in the Bible. That's it. It's the Bible. Diligence to be in the Bible. And not just to read the Bible. We're at another level. We're studying it now. So it's tough, but doable. And I can say me, I did it. Like, I'm not a college educated guy. I've been to Bible college, but I didn't get a degree out of that thing. I mean, Jesus chose fishermen. So I would never say this is for smart people, because I disagree with that totally. But it is for diligent people. It's for us to raise the ante up and say, okay, I'm getting after this. Let me give you the 5 things. I got 3, right? On lazy people, they need a boss to hang with lazy people. They dream of success and never accomplish it. The 4th thing is lazy people don't think they're lazy. That's funny, but it's true. In the Bible, they don't think they're lazy. Because they look at their own little world and their own little life, and they're like, I'm busy. Man, busy don't mean you're productive. There's people that walk around all day. That's where the unions just kind of killed our country. It started off as a good thing, and now most unions you go to, and it's terrible. People will tell you, slow down. You're making everybody look bad. Oh, no, it's true. And so, but lazy people, they don't think they're lazy, but you're lazy. You're not accomplishing much. And of course, the 5th thing is, it's where Ecclesiastes 10:18 says, you know, the lazy man sits down, he allows the building to decay around him. And so, small example of this, last night I sit on the couch and the girls wanted to watch a show. We got a show we're watching together. And I was kind of down with that. I'm sitting there and I looked at the clock. I shoveled my guts out of this. I had neighbors that were stuck and buried in, and I pulled God out here and come to the church, try to get, it was a mess, you know, the heavy snow. And I was tired and sore. Ate dinner, sat on the couch, and I was like, Becky, I do not want to paint my ankles yet. They don't. As soon as she said that, I hated hearing those words. Done. You worked hard today. And it wasn't like it was 10 at night, like I could say, well, I could just go to bed eventually here. It was early enough in the evening, I thought, if I hustle, I bet I could paint the upper part of that, because we got a border here, different colors going up here. I bet I could paint that in a couple hours and still get that show in. So I could have watched the show, then painted, but I promise you, if I watched the show, I wouldn't have done the painting. So it's the 5-second rule. I'm giving you what's happening in my head super duper fast, and as soon as Becky said, well, then don't. She wasn't mad. She's like, don't. She didn't want to paint either. I said, I'm painting. The girl's like, Dad, let's watch the show. I said, I'm painting. You guys can watch the show without me. But once again, it's a sign of, it's the diligence principle. Now, I'm like that every night. But a night that I'm in my right head, I'm walking with the Lord, I'm diligent. I get after it and I do it. And that's exactly what we have to do here. If the building is decaying around us, we can't be lazy. We got to be after it. And so, just encourage you tonight, be diligent, be diligent, be diligent. You're in that leadership book right now, and there's great principles in that leadership book. But a lot of it at this point, you're looking ahead saying, I'd like to become that man. Is that what you're doing, kind of, as you're reading through it, or that woman? In leadership, you're looking to say, man, I want to be that guy. Yeah. I mean, the first time I read the book, that's what I was doing. And I thought, I've got to get to the point. I've read that book 3 times. Not the workbook, I read the book. And I got to the point, I was just like, I got to quit saying I dream of being this guy. I got to become that guy. I got to become that guy. And so I did. I just kept diligent after it. And now, the last time I read it, it was kind of neat. I was just like, boy, that's so true. I've seen that work out in my life. And And there's other areas I'm going, no, I need to get better at that. So we have that, but it's the same thing with this class here, is I want you to like dive in it and be in the word, like at this deeper level. And then this stuff, the principles, they'll mean something. This unlocking the Bible, you'll be just like, phew, never seen that before. Wow, I'm getting it. Who had a clue? When I got done teaching this class, actually it was expository preaching, the class I'm going to start the new year. Carla is the one that stood up in the class when it was over. She says, I just want everybody to know, respect to the pastors that teach the Bible, expository, that pick a book of the Bible. She said, there's one thing we've all learned, but teaching these things gives you job security. It's such hard work. Basically, they were saying, we never want to do this again. And some of the men that were in the Bible Institute on Sunday morning, I remember several of these men one of these men specifically told me, in bad weather one time, he goes, I know our church up there. There was church a Saturday night that said, we won't be having church today, won't be having church. I was like, woke up the next morning, it started to rain a little bit, spit, but it wasn't even hard. I knew it was coming. Everybody knew a bad storm was coming. And both these men, one of them checked in basically, and the other one didn't. And just said, yeah, and let you know, scare of weather, we decided to stay home. I get that text and I look up. Joe Canuss was here. He lives further than you. Talbert's, they're old. I could see that. They got a watch getting out on ice, and so seriously, a whiteout would throw them off. So I'm not talking about them. But it just made me think. I think you even put a post about people that work there. Maybe 10% of the people are here. And I don't know. The point is diligence. Oh, my point in telling you about the people that didn't come was they went through expository preaching, and we still lack Sunday school teachers. It don't make any sense. I don't know. I should have probably booted them out during the time, when they were here, because I couldn't really do nothing. But what you do, what usually you do before sun determines the rest of your day. That's why I'm a big proponent of morning time. Even if you're a night owl, I'm a big proponent of spending some time in the morning in the Word, because it does something. It sets the precedence of the day, for sure. It gets you up, you're accomplishing things. You start to see something eternal. Therefore, and we got guys here in our tribe even that said, tell me, I don't read until night. Okay, I'm glad you're reading. But as we grow and get to this point, Joshua said success is he meditates on the Word day and night. Day and night. Any chance he gets, he's in it, and then when he's not in it, he's thinking about it. So that's what we want to hear. That's what we got to get after this. And Shane, if he goes to Zambia, great. If he don't, God might just keep him here. Maybe he's going to invest in people right now, and I'm all for that too. So we need you. I don't say that to discourage you. I know it sounds discouraging, but I needed to be a pastor tonight. I'm a little discouraged at looking at the big picture of things, because I got even guys leaving tribes that should not be leaving tribes. And people in their tribes are just saying, man, this is rough. And I just say, what can I say? But I know. And one guy quit. He quit. He just said, I'm not going back. Our tribe is so terrible. So I sat with him and just said, it's funny to me. You've been here long enough. Your tribe's terrible. You won't make it better. And that's because you suck. Go suck somewhere else. We got to get after it. You can make your tribe better, dude. I said, how about this? The next section, we'll move your tribe to your house, and I'll let you do. And he's a good dude. And he said, no, I've already talked to our kids, and they don't want people in the house and mess around in the room. He said, I don't think it's that good. He just, yeah, and two, I'm not sure I'd be as good of a teacher even as, you're complaining about everything and doing nothing, So then get after it. I mean, we can make a real difference here. I'll tell you what I believe. I still believe this is the most powerful thing on the planet. And if we can have out of this little church a group of people that just teach it everywhere. And we've already, I know Matt Woods is translating the Bible, but we're actually planting a church in town, but most people don't know it. They're elders, their music director, they got Sunday school teachers, their youth department, they're led to Christ and disciple here. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, guys. Keep winning people to Christ. Making disciples. That's what you do. They don't have to even like me. Now, you know, most of the time you see, I've never been in the military, but my dad was. And most of the time going through basic training, and you know, your drill sergeant's never your friend. And towards the end, you know, he told loosen up and lighten up. But my dad told stories, and just, it was like terrifying. But that was all breaking him down and doing the things the military used to be better at, I think. But, you know, that's kind of how we need it. We're not really here to make friends, but yet it takes it. I need relationships and family. We need these tribes. The tribes don't need to be deep. We're deep. We should be deeper too. We should be deep when we're teaching the youth group. The deep stuff happens when a guy stands in front of a group of 9-year-olds and is teaching the Bible to these children. I mean, you're busting the word. You know, how do you teach I don't even know what Ephesians is. Theme of chapter 1 is, so how am I going to teach a group of kids? So we usually don't. We just stick to stories. There's good stuff in here. There's really good stuff, and it makes me think along the lines of like a second grade or something like, wow, that's pretty powerful. To, you know, just think of my message Sunday morning, I'm praying. Paul prayed to me, right? He said, you guys have been fellowship in the gospel up until now, and now I'm praying, I believe in you to grab a little kid over there. I mean, we got, 2 kids in our tribe. One is Devin, who lives right down the road, and then we got Aiden, who comes with his grandma too. Their dads are uninvolved in their life. If I could have a man like you guys teach him the Bible, and it might require you to go fishing or something with him now and then to spend time with him because he's little and all that. But just to be able to tell him that, hey, I want you to know, man, I've been praying for you all week long. And before you know it, this kid starts telling you some trouble in his life. Before you know it, you just say, I believe in you, man. I'm telling, that's what Paul did to these guys. I believe that you're going to press forward. It's super possible. I mean, you know, Zach Ridley told me a couple years ago he wants to be a pastor. I don't know if that's true. He's a strange little guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We thought we need a strange guy to disciple.
Yeah. I'm not even strange enough.
But you know what though? It takes strange people to get it done. And I don't know if that'll ever happen, but to have somebody say it like that, I'm just like, okay, let's get after it here, then, you know?
He says some weird things.
Yes, he does.
He said, but you know, he just like randomly spurts out things, like, you know, my grandparents, they get me some genealogy stuff, and it's not biblical. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. I'm not sure why. It's not biblical, but it's just not good. I'm like, alright, man, and they get in the basement and they have a room they call it the black room.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I don't know. Just randomly say things. I don't even know how to pay them. Yeah.
Did you guys, how did you do this week on the homework? Yeah, I emailed it to you. Yeah, but I was late. And the question is, just put the time in, the main question.
Not enough, I don't think, that's my problem.
Well, and I will say, I think I said if you spend over an hour, and what did I say, hour and 15? Cut off, you know, and that's probably not enough time, but I know I'm sensitive to all of this. You know, you got a new baby at home, you're working a new job, I don't wanna be a jerk, you know?
I'm working on it after, you know, like after he goes to bed and with his P's and grades, I read at work on my lunch breaks and like just trying to squeeze it in when like, when you think about Bob, you know, it's like, it's not really that, like, not that's exactly what I was just telling the people to do, like,
Yeah.
I'm not good at almost right now, but you just not spend enough time on it, so good.
That, you gotta try that before you ever say you're gonna quit. Cause, I think, did you get it?
He said be careful with this message, because he never sent me anything, so I went to a different
Oh.
folder.
Okay, yeah, I sent it late though,
Yeah.
like maybe yesterday or the day before,
That's why it went to weird folder. We're creeping, Mike.
so probably. So yeah, how'd you get, did you do?
I'll hand Jim mine.
Yeah, I did mine.
Yeah, good.
I had a thing I found hard was just trying to figure out like which ones I kind of did just in the first step, like two of them, I guess, like kind of like a
Two of what?
outline. It says
It's
like,
like the suggestions that
ways.
you gave.
I kind of did like two of them, like together. So I did like paraphrase and then the outline method and try to do like sub points.
Oh.
I was like going through it, so.
Yeah, remember, there's
It kind of like,
the chapter summary, and then this one includes the summary, which you should have a summary. Did you do the summary?
No, I did it for the wrong book, remember?
Yeah, but did you do Ephesians 1 summary though?
Like for tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, or did you do that, or did you do analysis?
Did you do last week's homework also with this week's homework?
Oh, no, I just did this week somewhere.
Cause yeah, you needed to be able to really get this one. So like, for instance, there's several ways to do the analysis. And this is, and by the way, I cut mine off. I literally cut mine off after probably an hour and a half. Because, and I thought, man, I'm still not solid on this. But that's okay. I'm studying. So that's what study does. So on your notes, you'll see they gave some suggestions of how to do this. Like you could, it said, oh, outline it, use the punctuation, find out your key verbs. Like here's the work we're gonna get after next week. I kept seeing something. According. I kept finding that. Well, as I bumped, every time I had a punctuation, I bumped down. Well, the word according is an adverb. It's usually something pointing towards a verb. And I only know that because Google helped me with it. So I was able to go through and mark down and say, according. Anywhere it says according, that is not the main point. That's describing a verb somewhere. Then I kept finding another phrase, in whom. And as I looked at that, I was like, now, in whom we know it's in Christ. But I thought, once again, that's an object of a verb. In whom, something's happening in whom, well, I know it's in Christ. So like, I'm able to circle that and able to kind of steer away from, it's so hard, man. It's hard to boil down these verses and go, so what I did is every time there was a period, I just put a blank space. Another period, blank space, period. So I chose the method on our worksheet last week of each section, like that's an intro. So when you said grace and peace, that's what I was like, that is not the main point of the chapter, I know that. Then I get over here, and there's another section here, and I thought, man, I had to work through all these words, and go, wait a minute, what is that? Well, that's describing this. And so like, and then I summarized it, and said, put it in your own words, paraphrase it. So literally verses 3 through 6, I'm literally like, he's blessed us with spiritual blessings that we should be holy. Done. And I can back that up. I can go through here and show that and show you why. Well, that describes that. That describes that. Remember my colons?
So you wrote it all out and then that.
You typed it, then you put notes?
Then all the highlighted stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
When you go through the notes, you'll see.
See, I hand him my notes on those days you just did not finish.
The reason that'll kill you eventually is when you do expository preaching is you can't manipulate that page without losing something. You'll be erasing, but that's totally cool.
But I didn't include my note page either.
Now Philippians, I'll write that out by hand. Now this here, we're not doing that yet. I cut and pasted that. I didn't type this one. And I literally did what the analysis said. I bumped it down after every punctuation. The whole point is, it's just like you work with an engine. You look at Ephesians 1 and it looks like a complex problem. It's like it won't stay running. Well, Jason knows. He's just like, okay, let's test a few things out here. And he knows like simple things. You start simple and go deeper. So that's what kind of we're doing here is a chapter. Give me a chapter summary of this. Now chapter analysis. Now you're detailing. So yeah, he checked the battery. It's a fuel issue. Well, man, it could be several different things. And so he starts doing little things that he can just do without getting into trouble, or removing a lot of bolts and nuts, and he'll go down a little further, and sometimes I'm amazed, like I'll read a passage, I'll be like, wow, this is real simple, look how clear this is. And other times the Lord's just like, you gotta go deeper, you gotta go deeper. And then, and everybody wants to say they're not a mechanic, but I had a guy teach one time, he goes, Mike, there's 4 bolts for this carburetor, take them off, and set them in the left. It's the first piece you're taking off. I'm like, that don't make sense, but I hated every process of it. Picked it up, because now you're gonna need a seal to put that back on. So then I had to clean the bottom of it off. And, he was telling me how to do this, and I laid it out, and I screwed up because I was in trouble, and I was renting a place, so I put newspaper out of the gravel driveway and lined my bolts and stuff up. And so you know how it is, one wrong move, and I had some little things on the little springs in that carburetor eventually, and I lost them all. And I thought, I can't do this. I'm no good. I just wasn't doing it right. I didn't have a good system. I should have a cleaner place to work. And there's a lot of things I could have done differently. I mean, if I thought I was gonna finish at night, I could have went to a car wash then. I could have been in there, I look back on it, I'm just like, no, I just wasn't doing it right. I've never done it before, so we're gonna make mistakes here. So nothing's perfect. This is just work. You work it. So you gotta do the same thing. Just like you're typing, work it, just work it, just work it, just work it. And just keep working it, and read it, and then read it again. That's all a detective does in the police department. They go over, they look, and what do? Review, 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 interrogate, talk. Eventually out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Somebody gives a piece of information, you're like, son of a gun. She's involved in this somehow. And you only knew that because you kept picking, and that's exactly what this is. You're sitting with God's word, saying, God, what are you talking about here? And I had a great revelation tonight on the word predestination, or to share with you tonight on predestination. It appears twice in this chapter, and that's like one of the heaviest subjects right now being argued in theological circles. And I got it tonight. You know how I got it? In the freaking punctuation. I looked on here, and I was like, son of a gun. That's it. And that's how I got this here too. There's colons. I was like, after a colon, usually a definition. And how do I know that? Well, I knew that from Google. I'm dead serious. When it comes to that stuff, I gotta look it up, because I don't keep that stuff in my head. So I hate this, because we don't even have time for this class, but we gotta end. We didn't get nothing accomplished. But I hope we got something accomplished. If anything, maybe it's a little bit of a butt kick, and man, we could do this. I need men and women that can teach God's word in this church. And you know what? I just made up my mind today. There's a couple more people in this church. I love them dearly. They've been around a long time, and God made it pretty clear today. What He made clear is just, they need to. And I love them. I know you do. So we got something to do. This is the body of Christ. We got something to do. And I don't have to make it formal. I don't have to go to them and say, I'm done with you. I just have to be done with it. Because they've had so many chances to get after it, and they're not getting after it. So they can still be good people. Not everybody's teachers, but determine that. If you're not going to be a Bible teacher, I'm serious. I might become a Chad Grom, or I might become a Bob Baird. I think Bob Baird would like to do this class. He's scared, because he's a civil.
Yeah, that's what he mentioned one time. I was like, why have you done it? I thought
Yeah.
Dad, I just said, no.
You know why? Because he's a godly man.
Yeah, I said, why haven't you? I don't have time.
Yeah.
I didn't really tell him no for that.
Yeah. This is definitely for people who are going to teach the Bible. And I think people are capable, even if you're not gifted to teach, teaching something you get better at. So, there's different kinds of preaching, there's teaching, but I do think we need to come up with something where everybody, now in expository preaching, we'll go through homework, and then like the next 2 weeks, like Jason, you'll have 15 minutes to get up, but you'll specifically have to teach Ephesians chapter 1, verses 10 through 15 or whatever. You'll have it ahead of time. We've all been working it together. So it'll be intense, because what we've studied, you'll have to get up and teach it to us, who's already been studying it. So it's intense. Because people, like I had a guy that taught great, and everybody just said, great lesson, and I got it backwards. I said, well, here's the problem. Bam, 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 look at the verses. What did he teach? we put his outline over here, and we looked at the passage, I was just like, you just missed the mark. That's not what these verses teach. I mean, it's intense like that, but it's great learning lessons. Super good, you'll love it. And that only happened actually once. I mean, it happens in little areas, but one guy like preached a full-blown message with illustrations, and it was off the mark. Like, it was like, dude, like you preached on being thankful, and we see nothing of grace and gratitude, thanksgiving anywhere in them two verses. But it must have been on your heart. But it wasn't on God's heart when he wrote that passage right